I'd like to welcome each and every one of you for today's attendance at a wonderful, spectacular day in East Texas. Nice, beautiful weather, nice and wet, and saturating rain, kind of slow, steady, beautiful day, beautiful day. But once again, thank you to the media for making the time to come out and enjoy this special moment, and along with all community members. Thank you. I'd like to start out this press conference with words from President of Texas A&M University-Texarkana. This is Dr. Amy Cottrell.
Thanks so much, Coach Galvan. Really is a wonderful day for Texas A&M Texarkana, and we hope and intend for the larger community. I am so excited to see so many community members here with us today for what for us is a very important announcement, and I believe an important announcement for the community as well. I think all of you know that we initiated intercollegiate athletics this year, and it has been a really wonderful fall. We have a great tennis team, men's and women's tennis, and our soccer team finished the year with just a fabulous record. We know that if we weren't first year NAIA, we would be going to postseason play with that wonderful soccer team. Stand up and take it out, Coach Golis. So now we're ready to move on to phase 2 in the development of intercollegiate athletics here at A&M Texarkana, which is wonderful for our sense of community here on campus. We've seen how much our students have become involved and engaged through our first homecoming, through attendance at the games. We've loved the tailgating and the addition of a number of new traditions. And I know we'll have more with the second phase. So I'm very happy to say that next year we will be literally fielding our first baseball team for Texas A&M Texarkana. And we have a wonderful new coach who also comes to us from New Mexico, where we found and brought back to Texas our wonderful athletic director. I'm going to let our athletic director, who has done such a great job of getting us up and running, bringing in talent, both from our coaching staff and our students, to introduce our new baseball coach. Coach Galvan?
Dr. Cottrell, thank you. Once again, the excitement of today's announcement is long overdue, I believe, for the community of Texarkana and for A&M Texarkana. We're excited to continue our endeavors in making progress with both student athletes and our students. And Dr. Cottrell hit on the traditions that we're establishing. So we're going to continue those. So for today, with the announcement of our new baseball program, I believe that we have found someone who is second to none. He is definitely one of the top 5 coaches in NCAA Division II. In my opinion, probably one of the top 5 coaches in the country in all divisions. And the other 4, I really can't think of them. I think they're all Hall of Fame members. So I tell you, he's definitely has established himself. But Coach comes to A&M Texarkana from New Mexico Highlands University, which is an NCAA Division II school located in Las Vegas, New Mexico. He has over 28 years of coaching experience at the Division II level and has demonstrated his ability to build winning programs. He was the head assistant coach at University of California, Davis for 7 years and at Cal State University, Chico for 4 prior to his arrival at New Mexico Highlands University. His teams have averaged over 30 wins per season in his 17 years at New Mexico Highlands, along with 12 straight winning seasons. He's also qualified for the NCAA Division II regional tournaments on 6 occasions, and he's been selected in 4 of the last 6 seasons while hosting the Central Region Tournament in 2010. He's won the Rocky Mountain Conference Tournament on 3 occasions, has been in the RMAC Tournament on 6 separate occasions, while qualifying for the same postseason tournament 15 of the 17 seasons he's been at New Mexico Highlands. That's a tremendous record of success when you know you have to go and, as a coach, you have to hang your hat on 18 to 24-year-olds. That's a tremendous feat. His teams have finished in the top 5 in the nation in several NCAA offensive categories, and in 2007, his team led the nation in 4 different offensive categories. His teams have been accomplished both on the field and in the classroom, as his teams have demonstrated a commitment to their studies, as most of his teams have maintained a minimum of 3.0 in the classroom. In the fall of 2009, his team had a 3.59, so those of us who have experience within athletics understand that there has to be a strong commitment to guide and direct 18 to 24-year-olds, and he has definitely demonstrated that commitment. Coach has recruiting ties throughout the country and has already put A&M Texarkana on the map. I can't tell you how many emails and phone calls I've received asking them, first of all, where is Texarkana? Second, A&M Texarkana must be something special. And it is a reflection of leadership, and it's a reflection of the community itself and the strong ties that we have and the acceptance that we will establish ourselves as a strong athletic and academic-driven athletic department. It's been a phenomenal ride to this point, but these are the applicants that we are receiving when we open up our coaching positions. We're talking about top 5, top 10 guys in the country who have that commitment to their profession, but they also have a commitment to their institution because they understand athletics is such a small piece to the puzzle for these 18 to 24-year-olds. So we should all pat ourselves on the back for that. So without further ado, I am pleased to announce our first baseball coach in the history of Texas A&M University-Texarkana as Mr. Steve Jones.
Thank you, Michael. I didn't really prepare for this. I kind of prepared because I thought this was about the assistant AD job. So I went the wrong way. No, I guess you don't want to hear about that one. I'm just so truly just excited and honored to be here. I have to obviously thank President Contreras, right? That's going to take me a few times, but Contreras, and then obviously Michael Galvan, and then the selection committee for choosing me. Everybody's asked why. I was at New Mexico Highlands 17 years, and for the people that know me there, I essentially started the program there because it was on the verge of being dropped. I walked into, I'll tell a quick story. Walked into the baseball field at midnight for my interview, and I called my boss back home at UC Davis, where we had a 3,500 seat stadium, and I said, you know what, Coach Swemley was his name, and I said, Swem, I'm looking at the worst college field I've ever seen in my life. And they had not been in the playoffs since the early 1980s, we made the playoffs the first year, and 17 years later, we had one of the finest facilities in the, in the RMAC, and from a field standpoint, Division II baseball. So everybody asks why, and why is because of the excitement and the positive reaction that I have seen here. I got off the plane, and 10 minutes in, I knew that if he could get the money right and some of the other things involved, this is what I want to call home. I have had nothing but a positive reaction from the community and the university. I mean, I gauge the status of the university on the energy. The people you see and the students, and I've spent the last 5 days here speaking with students and speaking with faculty, speaking with staff. The president and I met, the other day, and I'm going to tell you what, and this is very genuine, I have not seen energy like this in several years. And I'm just, I'm totally humbled, I'm honored, and just sincere about being here and calling this my home. The interview process was first class. brought me in, and you know, we were here almost 2 days and got to meet several people, everything like that. Everything about this university is what brought me here, and I look forward to you know, doing the recruiting process. I'm happy to announce that we've already scheduled the first 11 games in the history of Texas A&M University-Texarkana, which means we've only got about 46 or 45 more to go. So, but that's what I've been doing the last few nights. Few people have seen me in here till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And, you know, one of my staples is that, you know, I'm not going to get outworked. And you know, we've already started that process. You know, we want to talk about, you know, the vision of the program. You know, the vision for me, number one, is that my kids are going to be student athletes. If you look up the history of my players and my programs, we have generally been very blue collar. We've had great success, you know, to the tune of a lot of wins, but also a lot of losses. But the better success for me is that my student athletes have become great family men, great members of the community, great employees in the work environment. You know, and that's more satisfying to me than anything. My students, you know, they graduate and they have good GPAs. And you know, we're just like anybody else. We're going to have, you know, some bumps along the way and some guys that we got to prod and things like that. And that's what, you know, Amber Galvan is going to help me with that tremendously. I don't know if she's prepared for 40 baseball players at this time, but, you know, it's certainly very important to me, and I would like to get to the point where I have enough depth and talent in my program where the discipline part of it is easy. Kid doesn't go to class, doesn't do what he needs to do, then, you know, we give him, you know, a couple opportunities, but where we can move on to the next guy and not miss a beat. And that kind of summarizes, you know, how you know, what we like to get to and how I like to translate to kids, hey, this is what you need to get done. Community is going to be huge. You know, this is a bigger community than what I'm used to, but my kids and ourselves will be very visible in the community and on campus. You know, I am the assistant director in charge of, you know, game day stuff, game day operations, things like that. My kids will be, student athletes will be at every event working. So they will be directly involved with the community and the faculty and the staff and the other coaches, things like that. And you know, I believe in that, and we will be accessible throughout the community as far as, you know, work days and doing things along those lines. So I think you have presented me with a tremendous opportunity, and you know, we are going to do everything in our power to translate that to our players coming in and our program, make that a part of our culture. Just you know, where, you know, after a few years, you know, it's going to be a thing where, you know, our kids expect that. And, you know, they will be respectful, they will be accountable, and, you know, they'll be kids that, you know, you guys would want to take home to your daughter, that you'd want your daughter to be, I hope. So, from our point, we'll have a great teaching atmosphere. We will work hard fundamentally. Like I say, I like the blue-collar approach a little bit. We will be very fun to watch. We play the game fast. Obviously, Michael talked about, you know, some of the offensive numbers that we put up over the years, and, you know, and I like to say we can short game and we can do things. I know Amber likes that short game stuff, but we can do what we need to do to win, but we can put up some good offensive numbers. Just to give you an idea of what, you know, one of my goals every year is that we score 8 to 9 runs a game. And, you know, if you look at our history, you know, from where I've been, that's kind of the case, and we'll figure out how to do it one way or the other. So that makes your pitching side of it a little easier too. So we're going to recruit at a high level. My idea is to get in here and you know, find out what we have in the community. I've had such a positive response, you know, from the community as to the quality of baseball in this community. I'm going to network. We're going to have a camp here, shooting for February at this point in time, a prospect camp before the kids start their season, and try to get players in here to get an idea, you know, introduce them to A&M, Texarkana baseball, introduce them to myself, and I'll also get a gauge for the talent level we're looking at and the interest. Goal setting, I'll tell you right now, and I don't care if next year's year 1 or year 5, my goal is to get to the national tournament next year. I'm about winning, and you know, we want to do it the right way. And I could sit and tell you, you know, here everything that we're going to do to win, and you know, put up those offensive numbers and play defense and pitch. But you know what? If we do the little things, if we pay attention to detail, our kids take care of their work in the classroom and take care of the, you know, things we do in the community and on campus, then we will win baseball games. And that's kind of sums up what I'm about. Thank you.
Told you, this guy's the real deal, as I say. And that's what I would say about our previous 2 hires. Also, coaches who are committed to the institution and committed to our vision in the purpose of having athletics, which we understand. And, you know, the winning, the losing, that's going to kind of take care of itself. But it truly is about the leadership and the guidance and the parameters, the discipline that we place on our student athletes and the expectations. And so as you can already see, Coach Jones has established himself for many years, and we look for Coach Jones to continue the success. He's confident on putting us on the map. I told him, just like I told the other 2 coaches, that I'm giving him 3 years to be competitive at the national level. But what I did tell Coach Jones, since he's here in November, this is year 1. So he's only going to have 2 more years. But yeah, I forgot to tell him that just now. So, Coach, this is year 1.
Okay.
But we will take questions from the press or those in attendance.
At this point, what would you be playing in your practice?
As I said earlier, I mean, well, right now we're going to play at George Dobson Field. We had a walkthrough yesterday, and you know, it needs some tender, loving care and things like that. But we've met with the city, and you know, and Michael can speak more to the specifics there. But if you remember when I started this conversation, I started out at what I thought was the worst college facility in the United States, and George Dobson Field presents itself 100 times better than, you know, what I walked into. So I'm excited about that. And you know, out of those 11 games that I have scheduled, we have 8 of them scheduled at home right now.
We're working on the logistics with the city on the use of George Dobson, and we'll be working through those that we both have the expectations from both parties. But I foresee that we will be taking care of all the facilities from the fence inward, basically the grass, the dirt, the watering, things of that nature. And Robbie Robson in the city has been tremendous in allowing us to utilize that facility, and he's already offered, you know, some of his workers to come out and help us as we start raking up pine needles around the cages. We've already told them, you know, we already have recruits scheduled to come in, and you know, I have 2 boys, 13 and 10, that'll grab a rake to rake up some pine cones and start the manicure process. And I joke with Dr. Contreras, it truly is a family event for my family. We're not afraid to get out there and dig holes, and I'm teaching my kids how to change sprinklers at the baseball field. My wife is doing the scores table. So we're going to be out there, we're going to rake up some pine needles, we're going to manicure whatever needs to be manicured, cosmetic for George Dobson, but it truly is fantastic facility. And so we're extremely appreciative of those who have already partnered with us in our endeavors with the soccer program, with Pleasant Grove High School, with Texarkana Country Club, with our utilization of the tennis facilities, along with Northridge Country Club. So we look to continue those partnerships, and we want to be that great partner. We want to make sure that people are happy and with our work. And Coach joked a little bit with Robbie yesterday that he'll have 40 workers come September. So they're not afraid to paint. They're not afraid to put a shovel in their hand or a rake or to do whatever they need to do. So, but we want to definitely thank the city of Texarkana for that opportunity.
Looking at the spring of 2016.
Spring of 2016. What I've told those in the community, a year from this January, first week, second week of January, we will have our student athletes preparing for that last weekend of January, or first weekend of February, where we'll have our first games scheduled. So come September of 2014, this coming fall, we will have 30 to 40 young men. And I use that term because that's the expectations we place on them for being a part of our program. As a student athlete, the expectations on utilizing social media in a positive way. It's a reflection of who we are as coaches. It's a reflection of our leadership. It's a reflection of the institution, our faculty. So we place high expectations, and we've already gone through the recruiting process. And that's what we explain to our recruits. If you are on board with us, this is the place for you. But you're going to make sure that you follow the blueprint that we put in front of you to get us where we need to get. And we're not talking wins and losses. We're talking about making sure that they're academically driven and they graduate. So those are the student athletes that we're looking for, and we will find. Because it's like I told Coach, and it's like I told our other coaches, we're going to win here. But it's not all about winning. As long as we graduate our student athletes, we treat them with the respect they deserve, and they are respected in the community and on campus in the classroom. They're leaders amongst their peers. All that wins, losses, that's going to take care of itself. So that truly, I have no reservations that we are going to be extremely successful. Any other questions?
Yeah, Steve, given that according to Chris Galvan, you'll be in the national tournament in 2 years, what's it look like? What's your team look like when it's working right? What will I see on that field?
Probably ask him. He played against us. When I look at them, they don't look very good. It's a funny thing. We went to came a game away from going to the World Series in 2012 in New Mexico Highlands, and all year long I thought we were bad. We actually really a tremendous year, and started out the year great and everything like that. And I didn't enjoy that team until I sat back and watched all the video stream afterwards, and then I realized how good we were. But I like to play fast. So primarily, my teams will be very athletic. I'll have some guys in the middle that can rake a little bit, and history-wise, from where I've been, my teams, because I'm an offensive guy. My teams will be in the top, 5 in the nation in doubles generally. We'll hit some home runs. I have no idea. I've heard from different people how the ball flies here, and things like that, and I'm certainly going to build my team around, number one, my field, but number two, I haven't ever played the Shreveports, and I haven't ever played the Oklahoma Cities and things like that. I've played Lubbock Christians and teams like that, so I have an idea of what I have to recruit out there to be competitive. But we'll play good defense. We'll pitch. Pitching's a hard thing to come by, especially at the NAI level and Division II level. At times, it's becoming that way at the Division I level a little bit. But we'll pitch it all right, and like I say, we'll be offensive and to the tune of what I'm hoping is 8 or 9 runs a game. Be fun to watch.
Let me expand a little. He's extremely humble. And those of you with the term rake, that means they're going to pretty much be guys in the middle of the lineup that can flat hit the baseball. His 3, 4, 5 are going to be strong. They're going to hit, but he's not afraid to bunt either. He's going to have guys that are fast on the bases. He's going to have all of his recruiting ties know that there's a certain speed he looks for. So they know if they have a kid who's 6'4", 6'5", they're going to play for Coach Jones. If they're 7'5" in a 60-yard dash, they better be able to hit the ball a long way and trot to second. They're going to be quick. First and second, they're going to put pressure. They're jumping around, they're moving around, they're stealing third with 2 outs that you normally don't do, but he's got confidence. He's got confidence in his ability to coach these guys. He understands his team. He'll tell you he'll run them out of an inning. But he's confident that the next inning they're going to score 5 runs, and chances are they'll score 6. He's got a great, it's Sergio Romo from the Giants. What was that story, Coach, when you played him in the regionals?
If you Google Sergio Romo's ESPN the magazine article, Sergio played at Mesa State in our conferences last year, we were the only team that beat him at New Mexico Highlands, and it's kind of a funny story, and it's in the magazine a little bit. Came down to our place, and we were good. We went to regionals, and we could really hit, and I had those guys that could hit, and we knocked him out in the 4th inning. A couple of my guys, actually, a kid that turned out to be his roommate. Oh, have you guys been able to hear me? Oh, that was different. His roommate was my center fielder who signed with the Giants also, and so they became pretty good friends, but he had hit a home run against him. Anyway, we knocked him out of the ball game, and for the next, 3 or 4 weeks until we went to the regional tournament, Sergio would tell everybody that would listen that he was going to shove it up our rear. And the funny thing was, he did. He no-hit us for 8 innings, and every time he crossed the line, by me, I was coaching third, and he crossed the line, he'd throat slash and do whatever, but the thing that he says in the magazine is that, he walked by me in the very first inning after he shuts us down, he wiggles his finger at me, he's like, "Not tonight, Jonesy, not tonight." And that's in the magazine, so it made it was an impact to me that he would remember something like that and everything like that. But those are the type of teams that I have, it's like I say, I think it's fun to watch. Michael talks about playing fast and sometimes you're going to sit in the stands. We talked about it on the radio yesterday, and you're going to go, "Man, that guy has got to be the stupidest coach I've ever seen in the world." But I will give up some outs early in the year, especially to translate to my team that, hey, this is how we're going to play. You might be 6'5" and hit 25 home runs, which I've had that, and you may have runners at first and second, against a pretty good pitcher or something like that, and early in the game, and you may bunt. So our main thing is we put pressure on them in practice, in our bunt scrims and things like that. Hey, you might be the guy. Which guy am I going to call upon this weekend? And you don't want to screw up in front of 200, 300, 1,000 fans, whatever the situation might be. So that's kind of how we run our program a little bit. Like to put a lot of pressure on them, and fun pressure, and everybody expects to do a good job. Long answer for you.
If there are any more questions, I want to remind the press, there's press packets that are located in the back when you first walk in, and as our marketing department says, there's a little bit of swag on the table in the packets also, a few pins and so forth from this year's items with our program. So if there are any more questions, I want to thank everyone for taking the time to come out. Your schedules are busy, but that just shows your commitment to what we're doing, and we hope to reciprocate that in these coming years. Thank you.
Thank you.